So today we are going to talk about a mother. Today we brought a story about a mother who takes care of 5,000 children, not usually a mother of 4 or 5 children. Who really is this mother? How did she get 5,000 children? Let's talk about all these things in detail in this video. So we have to go to 1989 to talk about this mother. We all know that Africa was not a very developed continent in 1989. Even today, the continent of Africa is not very developed. There are enough children suffering from malnutrition in Africa, that is true. There are some countries in Africa whose development rate is generally good, but as I said before, most of the countries are very poor. The economy is in negative value. So in Africa like this, a woman from another country in Africa goes to a village as a teacher. It means that she goes from one country in Africa to another country in Africa after finding a job as a teacher. So when this teacher goes to this village, she sees some children playing. So the teacher feels great after seeing this. So when she went to the village a little more, the teacher realized that this village is very poor. It is so poor that usually if there is a lot of filth on the road in our country, animals like cats and dogs will dig up the filth and find something to eat. But the small children are surrounded by piles of rot on the road in this village and find something to eat to quench their hunger. That's how hungry the children in this village are. Seeing this, the teacher felt unbearable sadness. After that, she goes to the school where she got the appointment. When she went to the school, she saw that some children are coming to school, but most of the children are not coming to school. When the parents of those children were asked about their children, the answer they gave was that we do not have money to teach the children. We spend a lot of money on the children's books, bags and pencils, and we cannot afford this cost. Some of the children who come to school have no books or pens to write. So as soon as she knew these things, the sadness in the teacher's heart started to increase more and more. After that, this teacher thinks that I should give the children something to eat and asks one of the children, "I will feed you. Will you come to our house?" So the boy asks the teacher if she will really give me something to eat. So with things like this, the teacher feels that she should start a daycare to take care of the children. When the daycare starts, the teacher knows that children will definitely come to the daycare. That's why the teacher cooks for 15 to 20 more children when she prepares breakfast. This daycare was started in 1989. From 1989 to 2000, a large number of children were fed, raised and educated with the teacher's money. In the year 2000, the teacher thought that it is enough that I have done a great service to the children of this village and now she should go back to her mother country. So while thinking about this and preparing all the necessary arrangements, the day before the teacher's departure, a small child was heard crying behind the house where the teacher was staying. Immediately, when the teacher went outside and looked, a small child with wounds all over her picked up the child and asked the people around the teacher who the child's parents were. So the teacher handed over the child to the police because the parents could not be found. The police say that it is common in this country for parents to leave their children on the road. We cannot take responsibility for that child. You are the one who found that child and asked to accept that child yourself. So the teacher thinks that it doesn't matter, I will adopt this child. And the teacher decides to take that child and live in that village instead of going to her mother country. So after about 2 weeks of this incident, the teacher received a call from the police saying that another child had been left on the road asking if that 2-year-old child could also be adopted. So the teacher did not think twice to adopt that boy. So, it is a bit famous about this teacher that she adopts children in this way. That way, a teacher gets a call from a hospital asking if she can adopt 2 children. The reason is that two mothers have come and left the children in the hospital after giving birth, so the teacher accepts those two children for adoption. All this happened in the early 2000s. Along with these things, the teacher did a little research about the orphans in Africa. In that way, if only the African continent is taken, she finds that there are about 400,000 orphan children without a proper place to live. The reason for this is that mothers give birth to children and then leave the children on the road. Some children's mother and father both have HIV, so they can't socialize, so the children become orphans. Ever since the Second World War, the continent of Africa has been a region of developing countries. But many Western countries went to Africa and took the resources of those countries to the Western countries. Then there were not enough resources for the people of Africa to live, and then there were very few jobs. For this reason, women in Africa often choose prostitution to earn some money. The teacher did a research and found out that these kinds of things are the reason for the prevalence of HIV in African countries. So, after thinking about all these things for a long time, the teacher decided to start an orphanage for orphan children. She also decides that the orphanage has the name Bahamalele. The name Bahamalele gives the meaning of winning in life. A year has not passed since this orphanage started. 67 children have come to this orphanage. So all these 67 children are fed and taken care of by this teacher. Not only that, if there are other children who are helpless in this way, she is now asking them to come to this shelter. So at present, more than 500,000 children live in this orphanage, and not only that, some children study well and become doctors and engineers and work in good countries in the world. So the name of the teacher who taught all these children well as a mother is Rosie Mashale. So when other countries come to know that there is an orphanage like this, those countries also start supporting this orphanage. Some people also call Rosie Mashale Mommy Mashale. She is still alive today. So this is the story. Comment below in the comment box. What do you think about this video? Good luck to everyone.